bugging you, if your elbows, shoulders, your neck, you have stuff going on in the upper body, it is all connected, and we're gonna start talking about the wrist. We're gonna give you this wrist car. We're gonna break it down a little bit so that you can start to use your cars, your controlled articular rotations, to assess whatever joint we're gonna focus on in these little mini videos for you. So if you're typing at a desk, if you are driving, if you are in mountain climbers, push-ups, high planks, chaturangas, trying to get into a handstand, you've got to ask yourself, does my wrist have the prerequisites to hold my body weight in that position without other parts of my body starting to overcompensate? And that's where you're going to start to feel a little bit crummy in the other areas of your body. So let's break it down. Wrist cars, they are challenging. I have pretty limited mobility in my wrist, so I like to give myself a little feedback with my cell phone right on my forearm. You guys can also, you can just hold. As you get better, you'll eventually be able to do both at once, but let's just break it down one at a time for today. You're gonna want this movement to come from the wrist and not the elbow. And that's why I'm gonna put my cell phone right here. So if I drop my cell phone, I know that it is my forearm that is moving, my elbow pronating, and not my wrist moving. Since right here, we want to really be able to focus on moving our wrist through our greatest range of pain-free motion. So I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to put my cell phone right on here. You can also just hold, and I'm going to tuck my elbow in at about a 90-degree angle. I'll do a few different angles so everyone can see. 5 fingers pressed together. Remember, fingers are not part of your wrist, so keep them out of this. I'm going to start flexing my wrist towards me, palm towards me. I'm going to start to pull it towards my pinky and take it out, really pushing and fighting for a little bit more. Good, finding extension and starting to pull it towards my thumb, and then coming back up, palm towards me for that flexion. I'm going to go one more in that direction. Good, and then I'm going to go one more, 2 in the opposite direction. So flexion, starting to pull towards the thumb, elbow tucked in, palm out. Good. And I am imagining, I'm radiating down, and I am imagining that I'm pulling through mud. So I'm creating some tension here to give my body more feedback. Good. All right. So those are your wrist cars. Work both. Once you get better at them, you can start to work both at the same time. Remember, it's not the forearm dumping down and dropping the cell phone. So put something up here. It could be anything, just to give you a little bit of feedback. The reason we want to work our cars and why we've been introducing them is because we want everybody to feel as good as they can all the time. So your cars, your controlled articular rotations, are going to decrease inflammation in your joints. You're going to be able to assess your joints. So if you do have stuff going on and you're not really sure where it's coming from, you can start to break it down joint by joint and see what's going on. And if you do know where it's coming from in that joint, you can get even more specific and see where in that joint. And then you can start working into that a little bit deeper to feel better. You're also increasing the communication between that particular joint and your brain. So everything is going to start to work better. You're going to make your stuff work nice, and you're going to feel amazing.